The wine on the duck. 14 hours, Charleston, come on, let's go.
To the Frontline Show with Chopwell and Genius.
Yes, I am.
On 100.1 Vibes FM.
More soca music. More soca music. Oh, we gonna soak it.
Okay, Andy.
Come on.
How you burn so? How you rule so? I wanna take a little piece of that. Just give me permission to rock your
Ladies,
Finding girl, I don't want to interrupt you.
please can I have that permission?
Baby,
I want to creep up on you now. I want to ask you to do it. Hey, let's go.
I wanna put on. Let me see your waistline go round. Bubble to the baseline, you can't slow down. Girl, you can't sit down. Don't stick
Do guys really still ask women to dance though? Because nowadays I see the man and just pull up.
up and
You know what I mean? Or them girls is there backing up. I don't know. Dance out change, boy. Anyway, let's go.
I wanna bring nothing to be nature and I just want to bring on your girl. Too real, it's dangerous. I wanna bring nothing to be dangerous. I wanna bring nothing to be danger and I just want to bring on your girl. You was born for this. I feel like born for this. You want me to and I like it so. I say you was born for this. I love the way you perform in this. When you whine it, baby, oh. I don't know. I'm doing anything, everywhere, on the road, every
Hey.
Yeah,
I got me a lot of wine. You know them two groups, you see sometimes. Them two groups is got me reading. You see the saying me, son? And your group saved me, right? More than one time too. Yeah, and I take cloud to your house and nothing.
Okay.
Yeah, sleep. Hit the ghetto, boy. Running hard. I got in charge song this time. Pull up in a group in a corner, everybody born in split. So forward right now, playing on me. I got weakness to the weed, right? Me whole head. When me son is this year, right? Accelerator. Jump in the car. I ain't done there, you know. Gone in Tiger Bay. Same thing again.
Same thing again.
I say, yo, oh my. You know how this thing triggered me, right? Come down, then. Was I there?
That's 2 minutes.
Yeah, buddy. Oh, but my wife is already push it. I tell this girl, I said, man, you know, I think it's time I get up because this thing I get out of this country. And I can't depend on the shit I know. And if I do anything, the man will kill me.
Yeah,
The thing is illegal. Right? The girl take off from me, boy. And put me in a zone because like, she didn't realize already going on, buddy. And so was this. Fly out the house to the I'm patch and go and looking for the warriors. Hey, I'm telling you, an addict is the most vulnerable. And you can through issues like that and you walk into a slippery place.
They're more crazy.
Because you know it's a mind altering substance, right? But I change my mind and mood here. That's what's happened, buddy. I'm telling you, I could see it. You understand? I see it, buddy. I could imagine what some other people go through when they put in certain things to work for them.
Definitely.
You understand? Tips for you. Think it's joke? I go through some changes driving down the road just so. And the anger is well up in me. And my biggest issue in my whole recovery is my anger. That's my number one. You understand? It defeats me over and over again, you know. Tell me, yo. In recovery, you know.
Easy does it. Easy does it.
In fact, we relapse. In recovery, see me in anger. Jesus, prime on man.
Get tuned into the Frontline Show with Chopwell and Genius.
And go straight as and then complete. 14 hours 42, guys. It's Thursday, right? You know, some people throwing back. We don't throw back on Thursday. And we throw back on the weekends, right? But we rewind you on Wednesday, though. That's what we do, right? Well, you know, seriously, like I said, we're getting into addiction notebook. My brother Philip Drayton is in the building. Life Reform, we're going to tell you what's happening with that group that is really pushing hard, man. You know, and need some more pushing right now because you see one just said toward the ground gone clean. We're going to have some issues, so we got to let our kids know what they're putting into the temple, all right, and about this little disease that we call addiction, all right. Trust me, for me, Chow is not about that drug, you know, it's about addiction. But you see, when the addiction will up on that drug, hell on earth, boy. Hell on earth. All right, so we're going to pay some bills. Of course, we're going to give you the Art of War song for today. And then when we come back, we're going to go into a little discussion about the legal drug that is definitely tearing into our society. But it's legal. It's called alcohol. Oh, yeah. I know some of y'all pointed the radio and said, Chopo, this is not drugs, right? All right, cool. you said the alcohol ain't drugs, just like how they were man and said marijuana ain't drugs. But you know me? I tell y'all both is drugs, all right? Because if once it alters your mind or mood or changes the course of an illness, it's a drug, all right? You can twist it and turn it however much ways you want to. But I stand for me and tell you that yes, and if you see me using any one of those, yo, you might up on drugs, all right? 50 or 14 out of 43, let's go pay the bills, get you the Art of War song, and then we're going to come back and talk a bit with Mr. Philip Drayton.
This is your girl Keisha telling you to promote your parties and Vibes 100 for a guaranteed sell-off. Vibes FM, the real party station.
Georgetown, it's your time to show that you are made of war. It's the Guinness Breakers of the Streets, Georgetown Summary. 32 teams will be in action from July 12th.
So we're going on with y'all, funny y'all there though. Funny y'all there slowly.
Yeah, we there now, man. I'll be all over going on, girl.
So?
Dick, where's the latest, brother? I ain't seen you no way, Dread. Yeah, come and check me, man.
Inc.'s Art of War 2019 Song of the Day. Compliments of Art of War 2019.
Mistress Drayton, pleasant good afternoon to you. How you doing? Alright, Neil, alright. You hold it up, brother. Easy does it one day at a time, you know.
That was your Empire Media Inc.'s Art of War 2019 Song of the Day. Compliments of Art of War.
Philip, we're going on, bye.
14 hours 47, that was definitely the Art of War song for the day. Vibes FM behind the Art of War 2017, 27th of July, right? Sports Hall Tarmac, I'm going to be there, of course. I want to see what this DJ have, man. You know what I mean? The newcomers, too. Gonna shout out down Rolly. What's up, son? You good? Notorious family, good afternoon. Selector Timothy. The heavyweight champ, man. All right. It's about that time we will bring you straight into Addictions Notebook for today. Thursday, the 4th of July, 2019. We're going to keep bringing these vibes to you. And the information as well. Because we know how important it is right now. All right. Lots happening in terms of substances in Guyana lately, and everybody sometimes is zoning on the illegal one. You know, the illegal one is always trapped with a terrible stigma. I've been saying to a guy the other day, okay, good, so that man will free up the 30 grams and thing, right? So what about if all right, free up, and let's say I use a lot of marijuana, right? And that's my thing. Let's say that's my job of choice. And then I'm working. I'm a boss. Come and say, "Boy, what are you doing later?" No, I go to the boss and say, "What are you doing later?" And the boss and tell him, "Man, again, and be two beer from Bamali
and roll up something."
And then no. And then he asks me, "So what are you doing, chop?" I say, "Man, again, beat the damn, beat the weed." You know what I mean? I wonder if you can still look at me the same way. You know what I mean? But we're gonna say good afternoon to my brother Philip Drayton. Good afternoon, son.
Good afternoon, brother.
What's up, man?
Hi, cool.
You're busy, son.
Well, you know what it's be?
I can never believe, you know, most people busy is lose weight, man. But you're losing no weight. This thing green with you, man.
That's because friction is not happening from within.
Peace of mind, boy.
Peace of mind, mental wellness, you know.
I tell you, boy, everybody know that this peace of mind definitely goes a long way, boy. So how the week has been, man? What life reform has been up to for the past week?
Well, we sit and we brainstorm with Ministry of Education, you know, in regards to the educational sector plan for 2019 to 2023, you know. So we're on board to see what's happening within the next 5 years for educational institutions. So yes, we're with the police force too as well, structuring lecture sessions beginning from the new month, etc. So we have a lot in place.
The police force, you brought that up on last night. That was another time, lies. You know, that man said, okay, good, it's 30 G's and I got some cops, you know, and that is one thing. So they're going to be able to walk and do the thing too.
Persons feels like the decriminalization aspect of the marijuana is already in place. You know, it's still a far way to go, but persons are looking towards it as, you know, some type of relief.
Well, I'm for one agree with it. You know, I don't think people should be going to jail for no spliff. You're not going to jail for no alcohol. All right, and alcohol is a drug.
Definitely.
And that's what we want to talk a bit about this afternoon, alcohol. Why do people not view alcohol as a drug?
Maybe because it's legal. It's very simple. I know it's the easiest way to get an instant gratification. I know it's the easiest method to use to actually have a little temporary escape. But they not recognize or understand that they're creating a permanent problem in the process.
Why do we, in our field, view alcohol as a drug?
Because anything that alters the mood and the mind is considered as a drug. And for persons who are in the chemical dependent stage in regards to addiction, they would recognize and understand that 1 is too many and 1,000 is never enough. There's nothing like drinking 1 beer or a 6-pack. You know, why get drunk only for tonight when I can spend years getting high?
But is it the same flow like a person going into crack cocaine or marijuana?
Everything is progressive, you know. I mean, I've known individuals that, you know, maybe a beer or two would get them high. You know, that is it. I've heard persons say they get high off a shandy. I don't know how true that is.
Hold on.
That is true?
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, you learn something
every
day.
Everybody know they drink my beer and thing on. You know, shandy start with.
Right, so.
You know?
It's crazy, but this disease called addiction, alcoholism, is a progressive disease, you know, and it starts from 1 beer or a beer and a half, and then it becomes a 6-pack, and then persons would put down that 6-pack would pick up 2 moccasin and then put down the moccasin, pick up 6 Guinness, and they would put that down too as well. Then they would start with a quarter, and then a half, then a large, and then we put that down too because we need the much more exotic ethanols. We're talking about the Ciroc and the Hennessy and the Black Label, and after a period of time, alcohol loses its taste. That is why we have clients that will tell you, Mr. Drayton, if I drink whole night and wake up with a hangover, it means I ain't drink enough.
Wow.
This is how serious
they must wake up with a hangover.
I'm saying you, right? We have persons who are in active using for maybe 25 years, but the last 10 years of active addiction, every day they were drunk.
Wow. And it also breaks them down physically, mentally, spiritually, just like
any
as
other
as when we talk about drugs, people talk about, oh, that's the chemical stuff that makes in lab, all right, good.
Yes.
But the alcohol does the same thing too, right?
Definitely, the alcohol does the same thing. It breaks it down both from the biopsychosocial aspect of an individual, it messes with you in the biological aspect, psychological, and of course the social norms too as well, right? Anything, that alters the mode of the minds, of course it isolates you from families and friends and loved ones and stuff like that. And we have clients that, if they drink 1 beer, they must skip a yard sale. Everything must go, the TV, the fridge. Yes, it's crazy.
It's so amazing how active addicts start their own business, huh?
Definitely.
I got a 1 yard sale. I remember one friend in Trinidad, boy, he cleaned everything out except the structure of the building. And when mommy came back, she fell down on the floor. She never believed that it could have gone so fast. Because he was like, why do I have a TV in the house? I don't look at TV. Why do I have a bed? I don't sleep in this house. Why do I have a chair? I don't even sit on it.
Right.
And the man just got everything out, boy.
But alcoholism reaches a very dangerous state, and what we're seeing happening, well, we have a few cases within our educational institutions where persons will look different methods to see how they can get that instant gratifications. For example, we've seen persons, youths too as well, that would take the hand sanitizers. We see them coming in key rings now where you can put them on the
bag, yeah.
Right? If you put the right amount of salt with water in those hand sanitizers and leave them for about 48 hours or more, just alcohol remains. Wow. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Right? We have persons who say they love the scent of lime alcohol and mentholated spirit because it reminds them of high wine. So this is how crazy it can get.
Well, I've had people in the bush with me. They took methylated spirits and they tried to filter it through tissue.
Right.
And those guys drank that, boy.
Yeah.
It works. It works.
Anything to get you high.
What is the pull to alcohol? What attracts people most to alcohol?
Persons are simply just experience hunting, we could call it. You understand me? It's not really much of a pull. It's just what it does to the human system. Remember, alcohol is in the classification as a depressant drug. What it actually does is slows everything down within the system. Just give you that false identity that for some moment, you create a little distance between self and the physical body. So, persons run behind that gratification.
What are some of the social effects of alcoholism?
Oh, it starts we have different progression of misuse have 7 different stages. It starts at exposure, then it moves to experimentations, then regular using, then abuse, then it moves to compulsion, and then dependence. Right? But what's happening in society where most persons are at is what we consider as the regular use. This is where persons embrace alcohol as a part of their lifestyle. What do I mean when I say this? If we dress up with the latest clothes and jump in with Mercedes Benz and we roll up at Splashman's Beach, we take out the biggest bottle of Hennessy and put it at the top of the vehicle. It's we run things, or at least it has been perceived to be that way. Right? If we're in the nightclub and we buy the biggest bottle of whiskey and we have the beautiful women around me, come on. It's we run things, brother. If I got if I got the rum and Red Bull in my glass, and I'm in the club, and the Beanie Man song come on, I'm drinking rum.
Oh boy!
At that particular moment, I could raise my glass.
Genius could tell you what, boy.
I could raise my glass.
Genius was the tune is everybody glass. Yeah, I'm drinking rum. You could prolong the whole song, and everybody will sing on Red Bull.
Yes, Roger, boy. A sip of courage, you call it. Definitely, because at that particular moment, only at that moment, it was like if that song was meant for me. Right? This is what it means by embracing mood and mind altering substance as a part of his or her lifestyle. And it's crazy, and it's 80% of persons that are at this particular stage and moving away from alcohol. If by chance we're in a party and everyone is smoking local weed and I have the sour diesel or the OG Kush or the Whiskey Leaf of Kush, as I run things, You understand me? And sports and drugs is inseparable right now. I don't know when last I got to a football match and I ain't smell marijuana.
Well,
Do you understand what's happening?
It's everybody's using nowadays. Alcohol is how does it affect you spiritually, though?
Oh, definitely. Anything that alters the mood and mind, definitely, right? What actually happens? The self is missing. So when persons put down this supposedly alcohol after years of intoxication, you understand me? A void is left. Right, so obviously it needs to be filled with. That's why the Alcohol Anonymous is a spiritual program and not a religious one. And this is very, very important to actually find a God of person's understanding. Apart from the 12th step, which is just one of the models that persons could implement in their life, there's 8 others. Right, so based on that person's biopsychosocial aspects, we would know which one to implement, etc. Right, but it really messes you up both spiritually too as well.
But is each alcoholic beverage got a different thing? Because my friend Bevon Moore, DJ Bevon, is saying that the brown rum has got a different effect than any other thing he's ever used. Yeah, I don't think he uses it no more.
Well, we have persons who say that they prefer use brown rum than the white one. Right, we have persons say they prefer the white than the brown one because the brown one is hot the head. We've heard all these different things, and then we have clients that would use the rum with coffee, and they say why they do it that way is because as drunk as they would get, they cannot pass out because it's mixed with coffee.
Yeah, so coffee. Yeah,
it's crazy.
That's crazy. Imagine Hennessy and coffee.
It's crazy.
It's called Zambuki.
Right, it's
Yeah,
called
it's a mookie.
But what persons don't recognize, caffeine is in the classifications of stimulant too as well. It's a much more subtle form of cocaine, I can tell you. Right? So if you're going to mix a stimulant drug with a depressant drug, it tricks the system. The system don't know how to react. So that is detrimental,
The alcohol, alcoholism seems to be sometimes escaping the attention of those in authority. Why do you think so?
What is that?
The alcoholism itself seems to be escaping those in in position to really pay attention to it. Why do you think is that?
More than altering substances is a part of economic growth. Persons would look at it. I'm being honest with you.
So they're gonna look at the money bringing in.
Definitely.
Right?
I mean, how much money these companies that is here presently is bringing in annually, right? And I'm saying to persons, every time I've seen an advertisement to deal with any promotion of any beverage whatsoever, we use the nice, beautiful models, etc. Right?
Yeah,
I was making a requisition the other day. Why don't they use the persons who was the real die-hard supporters, the real persons who would do anything by any means necessary?
Those models might not be drinking, right? Yeah, you trying to say that is going down the street by the them two rum shop where they don't there pick out them bill and use them in the ad?
I think they should pass and just see exactly what it's been doing. It's a difference.
The reality of it.
Definitely.
It's a socially acceptable drug.
It's a socially acceptable drug.
But it does a lot of harm to the physical as well.
It's been destroying friends and families and loved ones for centuries.
What about the physical? What does the alcohol do to the physical?
What we're actually saying, the cirrhosis of the liver, it's detrimental. We have a lot of clients that will come, and even when the detoxification period finishes within the rehabilitation center, so we'll have these effects. If a person hit the rehabilitation center, which is a level 4 treatment facility, and they're there simply because of crack or cocaine or molly or marijuana, the withdrawal symptoms is really crazy, yes, but they can deal with it in a particular way. But it is only when you're coming off of alcohol that the withdrawal symptoms can kill you. And this is simply because 2 of the symptoms that comes with it is seizures and fits. Oh, we know, right? How much persons bite up the finger, we try to get a tongue out the mouth, and when relapse happen, I mean, it's a 97% chance that, we'll kick the bucket. This is how crazy it gets.
This information is not reaching. It is because, we used to my kid.
How is he doing?
He's doing good. He's actually playing basketball, I think. We might be making a trip to Barbados soon. Depends on how it goes in terms of the finances. But he's doing okay. And he doesn't want me to take him anywhere. He just wants to go by himself again. He's comfortable. I don't know what's going through that young man's head. But he's really, really dealing with the issue really, really well. If there's anything going on, he's really masking it properly. But so far, he's like asking me, why am I worrying so much?
It's simple.
We had a little conversation this morning, He was like, Daddy, stop worrying, man. I can be alright, man. Don't fight yourself, man. You know, I can be alright. I'm saying, by this you are, but you not me. You know, I still got me to look after, and I'm trying to dig deep in the program to help me in all areas. But I've got some good friends, and of course I'm a member of the NA group on social media, WhatsApp, and I read all stuff coming out, and I use everything to help me with it. Definitely. You know, so we're getting better as a team, Mayhem. I think we're gonna go good, but we just want to make sure that we get some justice. I mean, that's the only thing that's bothering me more than him right now.
Roger De Freitas is saying, yeah, but remember that not everyone that drinks is an alcoholic.
Yeah,
you know, and that is definitely true.
Yeah, and not everyone smokes is
definitely. I've had persons who, friends have been drinking for the past 30-something years, right? But like I said, this thing is a progression. Yeah. Right? And between the 7 stages of progression to misuse, from exposure to dependence, persons can take years or months. It's based on that particular individual tolerance level, along with what's happening in the external situation.
What is the negative effects of alcohol? Negative social effects of alcohol.
If you might be a shy person within your home, you won't even want to sing, but drink 2 bottles of rum, and you could run down the road and sing, and you don't care what nobody says. Do you understand exactly what I'm saying? This is a much more subtler aspect. Right? The person's behavior, drunk drinking, you know, driving, accidents, death, domestic violence, all these different things are sprung from this supposedly mood and mind altering substance, which is detrimental to society.
Yeah, because
you're putting another person's life at risk too.
Yeah, because we read so many stories in the papers that a husband and wife was drinking, and then they had a misunderstanding, and the next thing you know, she's getting buried and he's going to jail. It's the reality of it.
It's crazy.
And that's why I've always been pressing forward for reduction demand programs for people to understand what they're doing. You know, as I'm like I said to you every Thursday, I'm not the one who's going out and say, hey, don't use by hey. I'm not the one who's going to do that, but I'm the one who's going to sit and say, if you do, this is what will happen to you.
We embrace it. You see, it's a lot of persons. Society demands so much from a human being today. You understand me? And not everyone is equipped with the appropriate coping skills to deal with certain external situations when it arises. You know, and they think picking up is the best way. You know, simple and straight up as it is. And we need to let the persons in society recognize and understand that the human system is capable of instant gratification without any external substance being put inside. You understand me? So from the moment we as a nation decide to embrace a particular depressant drug as a part of human well-being, we'll pay a terrible price for it. Cool. It's very simple.
Yeah, because I've used alcohol in some jokes, you know, some things, because it's funny stuff happen. And it's true, funny stuff do happen when you use, because you know, like if you go into a bar and you might look at the girl and you're like, hey, I'm not gonna use the harsh term and say, hey, yo, look at girl looking at you, whoa, man, she facially challenged. You know what I mean? But then after a couple of shots of Hennessy, you touch your partner and say, yo, you know, I tell you, you know, she facially challenged, but she's not the bad after all.
She's looking.
I mean, you start finding things.
Your skin must be smooth, you know. You gotta go close and see what's going on.
Yeah, alcohol definitely does some damages mentally, physically, socially, in all areas, just as addiction says it will.
Definitely. There's something that is missing from society. A simple information. It is considered as the CAGE questionnaire, CAGE, and the C stands for cut down. Right now, this is not something that you discuss with your husband or your wife or your kids or your friends or your families or your loved ones. This is for you. The C stands for cut down if you're going to drink whole night and party whole night. You understand me? When you come down back from cloud 9 to sobriety, if by chance this thought comes, hey, maybe I got cut down my drinking by, you know?
Once that happen,
right, we take that off. The A aspect of the CAGE questionnaire is considered as anger. Now, we know that once persons don't have that drink within an hour and a half or two, once they hit the abuse stage, right, you'll see agitation and frustration comes. That's simply because he or she is going through withdrawal symptoms and don't know how to deal with it in a particular way. So the simplest thing, wifey said, I ready for just give, tell she as it is. You know, we've seen it in schools too as well. The simplest thing teacher says at 9 o'clock in the morning, kids are ready to just let go.
Yep. One of the things you said earlier, that is that you know, there are persons who can use and they will not jump over those persons, but I know you have some advice for those persons. You have some advice for those persons who are using, I don't like this term, successful. How can we use successfully? I don't know. Because once you're using, your plan is to get high. And once you get high, you've attained your goal. So
definitely. Right? And tolerance is something.
If you're going to use it, you don't get high, you're not successful, right?
The drug of onset, 90% of clients that we've dealt with, the drug of onset, which is the drug the individual tries for the very first time, 90% of persons, it is alcohol. And if you do an in-depth assessment, you would recognize that this happened maybe in schools, or it was a school fair or a school party, or here what happened. It was my sweet 16th birthday party, and daddy had bought a bottle of champagne with me.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it is a progressive something too as well. Persons might say they're using because it relaxed them a little bit. Persons might say they're using because here what happened, mommy and daddy is no longer together. Persons are using because here what happened, wifey walk out on me. Persons are using because last week aunt died. All these different things are traumatic experiences, and persons don't have the appropriate coping skills and life skills and refusal skills, right? And they think drug is the only way out, right? A drink, slam the door on wifey and just go to the bar. Well, I call up my brethren them because, you know,
and then the first thing I tell them, me never she born, she just speeding me.
Yeah, me got time with her, right? You know, you drink your life away and go home
to me, boy, but I don't go use it.
Right? So the advice is very simple. Don't take the first one.
Yeah.
As for youths out there, they're still trying to find a way in society to recognize which part they belong. It's a sense of belonging is still happening, right? To see how best they can become responsible, productive, and reliable members. When a situation like that, where a kid don't know exactly where to be in society, to take external substances and put it within the system is detrimental, brother.
One more question before we bring this segment to end today. A parent, a child, for the first time, gets drunk and goes home. How should a parent deal with that?
No, first we need to take care of that child, because with that vomiting happens. You know, sometimes based on the type of ethanol that they consume too as well. You know, hallucinations happen too as well. All right, so when that kid is down back to sobriety, then is when the rigorous intervention is needed. Now, the parent might not be a specialist, right? So what is being advised or suggested, I should say, is sit with that kid and weigh the norms, the pros and the cons in regards to using, the positives and the negatives. They will give you positive, because in justification for use, they will find ways, you know, and say things why they think they should use. But in my line of work, 100% the negatives always overcomes the positive. You understand me? And this is just to bring a type of awareness to that particular child. You know, it's not to be demanding, it's just to bring self-awareness, because in order for recovery to happen, in order for somebody to put down this mood and mind altering substances, it needs to be a personal decision. This can't happen because a judge recommends it or family and friends desire it. It doesn't work that way. You understand?
All right, thank you so much for passing through, Philip. Once again, the topic today was alcoholism. I want to thank all the guys that logged on the Facebook page. Your questions, of course, Philip answered them. And tell your friends about what happens on Thursday, because we really want these to get. It's not about, like I tell you all.
It's addiction. No, but
it's not.
Sensitize the public in regards to what's happening.
That disease, right? And just like Philip said, if you're using, check that cage, right? Once you start cutting down, you're in some trouble.
Right.
Then you yourself recognize that you are in some trouble. All right, and careful, because like we've been telling you, alcohol
is a
drug.
Definitely.
Do not be confused about that. Addiction Notebook on the front line. We go pay some bills, and when we come back, we go straight into the Samaru Investments quarter hour. Wow, that was a set in
business and thinking about starting one. Let us help you make some money. BPAX has a wide variety of products that are used